Okay, so hello everybody, welcome to the ABAP rituals, and today we are going to learn about uh, the interview questions related with BAPI enhancement. So let's go and see some important interview questions related with BAPI and enhancements. Okay, so BAPI, you know that. Can you write here in the chat box what's the full form of the BAPI? So just you can write it quickly over here. What's the full form of BAPI? I believe everyone here, just I want to engage you with a small question. So just right over here, the full form of BAPI. Okay, very easy, very simple. BAPI. Right, fast over here so that we can go ahead. Yes, very good, Gaurav. Business application programming interface, right? Business application programming interface. Awesome. So why we tell this one as a interface, right? The reason behind we tell this as a interface because it helps to communicate two system together. So if you want to communicate with the outer world, suppose if SAP wants to communicate with the outer world, suppose if you have one system, SAP one system, and your SAP one system want to communicate with the outer world, whether it is a you know SAP system or non-SAP system, not matter. You can communicate with the Java world, .NET world, right? So your SAP system will be able to communicate with the outer world with the help of BAPI. Now you might be thinking that RFC is also there for communicating with the outer world. Yes, with the RFC also we can communicate with the outer world. And if you know about the BAPI, BAPI is nothing but it's a RFC enabled function module having certain criteria, having certain principle, right? Having certain rule involved. So when your RFC is implied with, when your RFC come with certain rules, then it becomes BAPI. It's nothing but a RFC function module only. But when your RFC comes with some certain rules, and when you register this RFC with the business object, then this RFC gets converted into BAPI. And when this BAPI gets created, it's easier for the outer world to communicate because it is created in such a way that it's more flexible, more, you know, reusable, more easy to be called from the outer side of the world. So BAPI is nothing but it's a RFC enabled function module only, plus some extra rule involved, like extra rule, like this RFC must be registered with the business object in order to become a BAPI, right? So just a basic introduction you understood, right? And the important question, see here, how to create a custom BAPI. So if you want to create a custom BAPI, first you will have to create a RFC function module only. While creating the RFC function module, what you will have to do, you will have to take care that your BAPI name must be started with Z BAPI or Y BAPI. Okay, it must be started with Z BAPI or Y BAPI. So this is one point. Okay, another, all the importing and exporting parameters name should be started with Z BAPI or Y BAPI. So you here the importing parameter and exporting parameter, right? Both should be started with the Z BAPI or Y BAPI. All the types for the parameters should be of a structure type. Very, very important. All the type of the import and export parameter, changing parameter, whatever parameter, that all are going to be of a structure type. Like you cannot use, suppose if you're getting the material number from outside as an import parameter. So if you're writing im underscore matner type matner, then in that case, type matner will not work because matner is the data element over here. You'll have to create one structure containing a field called matner of type matner that a structure will have to use for the import parameter declaration of the BAPI, right? So I believe you understood now. And then here, because it's the RFC function module, so all the parameters must be passed by value, right? That is for sure. So all the principles what we follow for RFC function module here also it will be there. Apart from that, these other three principle, and BAPI must have a returning message parameters of type BAPI read to, and then the RFC, once you create this one, you must have to register with the, you must have to register with the custom object, right? So custom business object. So once you register this RFC with custom object, then it will become the BAPI, right? So this is the case. And now let's go ahead and see some another point, some chat. We need to
Okay,
release
so how
this
do you
F.
register it?
Yes, we need to release this one. Yeah, what's the question?
How do you register it? Where do you
Yeah,
register?
we have to go to SWO1, right? And there, we'll get the option to register. Once you will go and explore your business object, you will get the several method over there, and under the method, you'll have to register this RFC function module. You know, so this is the process. Like you'll have to go to SW1, you'll have to click on the display button of the business object. You'll have to see if methods are not there for that business object, you will have to create one new method, and with that new method you'll have to register your RFC. Now this RFC will become your BAPI. So this is how you'll have to register. Fine. Now this is very important question, very frequently asked, very very like it's a very important question, and you cannot ignore this question. Now tell me one difference, everyone, from your understanding point of view, or what we have discussed over here. What's the difference between RFC and BAPI? Write down over here fast. Okay, one difference. Go ahead, write down here. Be fast. Very important question. Very. It's a very important question. BAPI is FM. Yes, RFC is also FM. No difference, right? Yes. Yeah. Satya is telling every BAPI is RFC very good, but every RFC is not a BAPI. Very important difference. If you tell this first difference, you know, your confidence will be increased. Your interviewer will be also happy. Yes. All the RFC, no, Om Prakash, we don't have to tell like this. We have to tell every BAPI is RFC, but all the RFC is not BAPI. Okay. Tell like this. This is one difference. Very good. Any other difference? Okay, Satya is telling BAPI does not require middleware. Okay, we would require Java connector. Suppose if we're going to uh, connect with the Java or .NET, so directly with the help of JCO, or from .NET, I don't know, but from Java, I have heard, I have not integrated anywhere. But this is true. BAPI does not require any kind of middleware. However, through middleware also we can call, like you can integrate with PI. Okay, like PI or XI system. BAPI can be integrated with PI or XI system, but it is not mandatory. So this is also one good point. RFC also, it is not necessary that you must have to involve that particular PI or XI. Without PI or XI also we can call the RFC. So here I think this is not the significant difference. Okay, so RFC and BAPI both can be called from the different system without using the PI. The main difference, just to go here, BAPI RFCFM plus registered in BOR. Okay, that's fine. Good. Yes. Good, very good. BAPI needs to be registered. Yes, RFC need to be registered in order to become the BAPI. Okay, good. So, uh, good. So now let's go ahead and try to understand the difference. So the very first difference, the Satya told that all the RFC cannot be a BAPI, but all the BAPI must be a RFC. The first significant difference. The second very important difference, RFC is a procedural concept. You know, RFC is a procedural programming concept. On the other hand, this BAPI is the OOPS oriented concept, object oriented concept. Remember this second point, very, very important point, the second one. Okay. Third point, BAPI, you know, uh, uh, give me some time. I'm trying to remember and just take forward. So BAPI, you know, here I have written. Let's go here. What I was trying to tell that. Yeah, so that BAPI is the object-oriented concept, right? That is very important. And RFC is the procedural concept, right? RFC is the procedural concept. This point is very important. Another another point I was talking about this one. This the this point. This very important point. BAPI BAPI, you know, suppose if you have a purchase order create, BAPI underscore PO underscore create one, right? Or BAPI underscore materials save data, or BAPI underscore materials save replica, whichever BAPI you take. All the BAPI represents a complete business functionality unit. Suppose if you have to create a material number, right? So one BAPI will be dedicated for that particular business unit. But in RFC, or in the function module, if you talk about, every time you will not get like this. But BAPI generally stands for the business unit. Okay, one single BAPI represents the unit of business functionality. So this is a very big benefit of the BAPI. Actually, this is the fifth point. I'm stressing on this fifth point. This is a very big benefit. If you want to do any kind of operation, whether it's a create, change, or update, any kind of operation, then if you are able to find, and for most of the things, like for most of the standard operation, whether it is a purchase order related or sales order related, or for any kind of material related operations are there, for each operation you have the BAPI available. You can directly go and use the BAPI. So that's the, and you don't have to take care of the screens, validations, internal functionality. So that is a very big benefit. So you don't have to go to call transaction mm01. You don't have to write the BDC code for creating the material, right? The efficient way. So my question to you, suppose if you have one option to create the BDC transaction and create the material, this is one option you have. And if you have one another option to use the BAPI and create the material, which option you would prefer as a ABAP developer? Right here in the chat box, your answer. You have two options, one using BAPI, another using BDC. This is also one very important interview question. If you have one option to create the material using the BAPI and another option using the BDC. So which option? Yeah, perfect. Sudhir, Vishal, Omprakash, perfect. Yeah, other people is confused, right? So here, uh, so basically, what Gaurav, what you want to tell over here? Uh, basically, why you are writing basically? Uh, you can unmute yourself, Gaurav, and if you want to speak something, you can speak.
Actually, I was writing Bappy, but it was not getting typing correct.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought you want to tell something extra. Okay, fine, no issue. So we BAPI is the preferred choice. BAPI is the preferred choice. Why? Because here you don't have the screen involvement, right? Here just you have to take care of the parameter, and that's why it's going to be efficient. Okay, so this is the preferred choice. BAPI is going to be your preferred choice. So the important differences you came to know over here, and just I'm going to show you once again, focus over here, that the very first difference you have that all the RFC is not the BAPI. All the BAPI is certainly is going to be your RFC. RFC plus some extra rules will create your BAPI. For example, you must have to pass as a type a structure when we are creating the import parameter and export parameter or change parameter, any kind of parameter when we are creating. While declaring the parameter type, we have to give as a structure, right? Whereas in RFC this is not mandatory, right? This is not required. Another point, RFC must be registered with a business object in order to become the BAPI. Another point, the fourth point, that BAPI represents always a complete business functionality. On the other hand, RFC represents not necessarily the complete business functionality. It is not necessary. Okay, it is not necessary for, but generally for the BAPI, it's necessary to represent a business functionality because you are going to, register with a business object. Then only it will make sense, or otherwise simply creating the BAPI will not make more sense. So it's general things that BAPI represents the complete business functionality, whereas RFC generally does not represent the complete business functionality, RFC or normal FM. Okay. Another very important point, RFC is a procedural programming concept. On the other hand, on the other hand, BAPI is the OOPS oriented, object oriented programming concept. So remember these points here, it is written, right? So very, very important in today's interview question, ask this question. Okay. You must ask this question, very frequently asked and very important. Enhancement, very important topic. Enhancement is very important topic, and this, you know we'll start with a direct modification. So I will tell you some story about the enhancement. You all must be knowing, about the basics. So I believe that you all know the basics of ABAP, then only this will make more sense. Otherwise, you will get confused. Okay, so first learn the basics of ABAP, and then you will be having the better understanding over here. Okay. So now, enhancement. What is enhancement? So enhancement is nothing but one SAP standard program is there, and you want to have some extra functionality in that SAP standard program because all the organization is having their own custom need. Every organization is having their own custom need. So the standard program need to be modified or need to be enhanced in such a way that your organization could meet their expectation, your organization could meet their requirements. So that's the important point. That's why the enhancement concept come into the picture. But there are several challenges in the enhancement, right? There are several challenges for enhancement. Write down some challenges over here. Just write down. So Om Prakash is writing right logic and should understand and impact clearly. Okay, fine. So actually, the very first challenge is there. Whenever you do some enhancement, right? So just think about when we have some standard program and you want to do some code modification over there. Yeah, Vishal has written nicely over here. During upgrades, our enhancement code will be overwritten. Awesome. Gaurav, we can do enhancement if customer exit, bad user exit are available. Yes. So this customer exit, body, user exit, these are the solution for the enhancement. These are the techniques which is strongly recommended by the SAP to use in order to go and directly do the modification. So if you go and do the direct modification, right here Vishal has written during upgrades our enhancement code will be overwritten. This is the first challenge if you go and directly do the modification, right? Another challenge, SAP is a standard software and several years have taken to develop a particular, a report, or in order to implement a particular functionality, several validations, several expert will be working over there in order to, write a functionality, and they have done so many testings. So in order to make sure that sorry guys, just a second. Sorry. Okay, so because it's a standard software okay, so now because it's a standard software, we are not supposed to go and write code wherever we want, right? Because it will disturb the flow of the standard functionality, and instead of gaining the benefit, we will going to mess up, and it will create a huge loss for the organization, or it will create a very big problem. So that's why direct modification is not suggested, right? So for enhancement, so if you have some standards, a standard program, and if you want to do some enhancement, direct modification, this was the very like initially people used to do like this direct modification, but it was having the big problem as we discussed over here, right? Upgrade related issue, and you are going to play with the SAP standard functionality. This was a very big problem, and it was not at all recommended. So direct modification gone from the picture, right? User exit, it is almost like the direct modification only, but dedicated in a include. So SAP has given some set of includes there. They have given the subroutine there. You can go and write the, you know you can write the logic over there in order to implement the user exit. So the second concept, user exit, come over there in my video over there. Everything is there, so much detail. You can go and learn from there, but here it's not possible for me to cover all those things, right? Let's mostly focus on the questions and answer. So here, let me read it out. It's in the form of subroutine, right? Name is started with user hyphen exit, and the star will be there at RASP, means it can be anything. The name of the user exit, right? All the user exits are segregated under the different includes, right? That includes is not going to be dished out by SAP, right? Because those are a kind of custom include. However, that is given by SAP, but that is like a custom include. Here, risk is to risk is also minimized over here because so this actually these are not the custom includes. What I'm telling that these includes are there where we can write our custom code. My meaning of this means it's not like the custom include MB45 AFJZ, right? Then there are so many, like starting with MB45. So can you tell me some of the includes if you remember over here? And another thing, right, you can just write it down over here. Meanwhile, I'm talking about the you know the user exits, some extra stuff like uh, user when we talk about the user exit, it is mostly for the SD module, right? Sales and distribution module. So here I got some pinged. Yeah. So MB45 AFZZ is very popular one. MB50 AFZ1. This one is also frequently used. MB45 AFZZ. This is, however, very very frequently used. So fine. Uh, and this is mainly in the SD module, right? Here, see the problem of the user exit. What is the problem of the user exit we have? It requires the access key, right? Or we'll have to go for the implicit enhancement. Otherwise, you will not be able to change the code over there. So it requires the access key, or you'll have to go for the implicit enhancement. See here, right? This user exit is only available in SD sales and distribution. This is the problem because we are going to use the subroutine to modify the code. There is a risk that we can disturb the again the same problem, right? Because here and see here in this user exit, you have more command. You can write this point also, more command over the global variable. So the writing the code is easy, writing and maintaining, right? So whenever we have the global variable, code maintenance becomes easy. However, the memory, a memory, it's going to consume more memory. So that's why we avoid the global variable so that it will not consume more memory. This is also also one aspect of not using the global variable. But when we use the global variable, maintenance of code and writing the code becomes easy. So the writing or maintaining the code is easy. uh, More command over the global variable. So more accessibility. Instead of command, let's write the accessibility. So accessibility over the global variable. And that's the reason, if you have some accessibility. So if you have some global variables where you want to write your code, it becomes easy to write the code. It's easy, right? So user exit is having this benefit, but every benefit comes on the cost of some, some some loss, right? Every benefit comes on the cost of some loss, some problem. So what is the problem? Because if you're having the more command on the global variable, again here you have the more chance to disturb the SAP a standard a value. Means suppose one global variable which is being used by the SAP standard program, and same global variable if you want to going to change, then it may have the huge impact, right? So this is again a big problem. However, this also comes under the benefit, right? So here just write it over here. There is a risk that we can disturb the potential global variable. So here we have already written, right? So hope you understood. User exit is nothing but it's a subroutine, right? Form end for all the form and end form name of the subroutine is clubbed together in a includes, and that includes is known as basically the program, right? And that program is containing the set of user exit, set of subroutines, right? So include is nothing but our program only, where you can go and write the code. However, it's not the executable program, right? You cannot use directly include. You cannot directly execute includes, right? You must require one executable program, one main program, in order to, reuse the includes. So you know already about the includes, right? So all the user exits are there in the includes program. Fine. Here the problem I have written, we discussed this one. Let's go ahead now to overcome all this problem which was there with the problem, right? And this one problem is here. This is only user exit is only available in SD module, you can see here, right? So that is one problem. It is only there in the SD module. But when they were there in this mode, they quickly identified that, this solution is not the perfect solution, this is not the very good solution. Okay, so however, they have created some user exit for SD, right? Then they realize that, okay, this is not a good solution. So soon they went for another solution, and that solution name was the customer exit. So this was in form of subroutine, right? This was in form of subroutine, right? But the customer exit was there in form of function module. So now you will be having better security. You don't have the command over there on the global variable. If you have the function module, you cannot access the global variable of your program, right? Whereas in the subroutine, it was possible to access the global variable. So one side it was a benefit also, but on the other side, this benefit was, yeah, a kind of loss, kind of disadvantage, right? So they avoided this disadvantage, they avoided this problem with the help of, function module. So customer exit is nothing but a function module. Okay, so that is a framework where function module is basically involved. So let's go and try to see. So it is in the form of function module. Here you neither require an access key nor implicit enhancement, because here you can create a project and, you can create your implementation. So here you don't require any implicit enhancement or, access key, right? So here you will be having the function module. Inside the function module, you will be having the custom include starting with Z. You have to double click over here, press enter. It will go and allow you to write your code. You must have to put those code inside the tr, or in the tr, so that you can transport. But before writing the code and activating that one, before that you must have to create a project. Okay, so one. Okay, now tell me the question here, the experienced person. Can you create multiple implementation of a customer exit in a different, project? So suppose you are going to use a customer exit in one project. Okay, suppose if I have created one project Z uh, 1. Okay, so will you be able to create the another implementation of same, customer exit in the different project? Is it possible? So no, that is not possible. So if you have the customer exit, right, if you have the customer exit, it is not possible to create, right, the multiple project for the same customer exit. That is not possible. Okay. So that was overcome by body. Okay, in body, for one, if your body is multiple implemented BAPI, means like multiple implementation is selected for a body, then for a single body you can have the multiple implementation. However, for this customer exit, multiple implementation is not possible. Multiple implementation in the sense, for multiple project you cannot have the same customer exit to be implemented. That's the meaning of the multiple implementation over here. Here you need to create a project in order to implement the customer exit, right? This point we understood. How to search a customer exit, right? See here, this is going to be your uh, this is how the customer exit appears in the program. So suppose if you want to search for a customer exit, you'll have to search for the call customer function and several customer function in that program. Whether you can go and search for the mm01 program. So for va01, this is the transaction code corresponding to that transaction code. You can go to the program and you can search for this. Simple, this much only you'll have to search call customer function. You'll be able to see the various, you know, uh, customer exit. And here xxx, so where xxx is 3-digit number which is representing the unique customer exit. Okay, function module exit, the name of the function module is going to be like this: exit, the program name which is calling this function module, and then the 3-digit number which is over here. So this is the format. It will be written over here exit. Okay, this is the exit, and the name of the program will be written. So exit, name of the program, and then the 3-digit number will be there. That's the naming convention of the function module. Okay, so hope you understood here how to search the customer exit. So one way, directly go and search in the program, right? Globally search with call customer in the program. Another way, you can go to the ACE mode transaction, and there by giving the package, you can search for the customer exit. So how to identify the package? You can go to AC93 transaction. You can give the transaction name over there for which you are looking for the package, and you will be able to identify the package. This is one way. Another way of identifying the package is that go to the transaction directly, whichever transaction you want, go to the status. From there, double click on the program, go to the attributes and check the package from there. Use those package in ACE mode. Okay, so just I made you revise. What's the difference between customer exit and user exit? Tell me over here. Again, important question, very important question. Customer exit, just a second. Yeah, okay, so who will tell me the difference between user exit and customer exit? Right, here it's written, right? It is in the form of subroutine, it is in the form of function module, just we discussed. It requires the access key, it does not require any access key. User exit, you have the access for the global variable which is risky. Here you don't have the access for global variable because you have the function module. So you are going to use the parameters only, which is going, you know, which is there inside the import parameter. So security wise, it's very good. It is only available in SD module, right? Here it is available in all modules. And another points here, it does not require any project. It doesn't require any project to be implemented, right? Uh, so if you want to implement some user exit, you don't require any project to create. Here you require a project, right? You need to have created one project in order to implement the customer exit, right? Okay, so this is the difference. Just remember this one. SMOD and CMOD. SMOD for the purpose of searching the modification. S stands for search, MOD for modification. C stands for create. Modification means modification. So this is for searching modification, this is for creating modification. That means for implementing modification. So this is again, you know, people will ask you what is S mode, what is C mode, right? Or they will ask how to search the customer exit. So remember this one. S stands for search and MOD for modification. So remember S mode, S mode, S mode, and C mode, C mode, C mode. Like that you remember S mode, C mode, just remember. Okay. So fresher, please remember this one. S mode and C mode. Fresher right here in the chat box, whoever is a fresher over here. S mod for searching the modification and C mod for searching the, you know, S mode is for searching the modification, that means for searching the customer exit, and C mode for implementation of the customer exit. So right here in the chat box, okay, right here in the chat box. So VVI, this point, you just remember this one right here in the chat box. And now let's go to the another very popular, very useful enhancement, that is the business add-ins, right? BADI. So now whatever the problem we are having with the customer exit, now it's going to be overcome with the BADI, business add-ins, right? It is, so see, now the customer exit, what it was, customer exit was your procedural concept, right? The function module based concept. On the other hand, BADI is going to be your object oriented based concept. BADI is completely based upon the interface, right? So if you know the concept of interface, that we use the interface for the purpose of multiple implementation, right? For the purpose of polymorphism, for the purpose of achieving the polymorphism. So whenever body comes into the picture, object oriented concept come to the picture, and interface comes into the picture. So body is nothing but a framework, okay, which is going to give you a certain interface. That interface you can go and use in your custom program, custom class, okay. So whenever that body is going to be get called, or automatically all the implementation, if this body is the you know body is having the multiple implementation. In fact, body is uh, there are two types of body. One is having the multiple implementation, and another is having only the single implementation. But in most of the cases, the body what we are going to have is of multiple implementation, okay. So that problem, right, in the customer exit, that you can create only one project, right? That means for a customer exit you cannot create the multiple implementation. If you want to create the multiple implementation, same project you have to use, okay, that is possible. You you have to you know in the same place you have to write the several codes. That was not a good practice, right? if, uh, if you want to use the customer exit, so different project you cannot create. That means at different places you cannot write the code. At the same places in the same project you have to write, but this problem is overcome, this problem is gone in the body. You can create a several implementation for a body. Here you don't have to create any project and all, no project, nothing is required here in body. Just you should know how to create a class. You should be good enough, your fundamentals about object oriented should be good enough in order to you know understand the concept of body, okay. So for that purpose only, I first taught to my students about the basics of OOPS, and then again I went back into the body. So let's have some basics of object oriented. So there are three fundamental principles of the basic OOPS. One is encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. One more is there, right? So see here, this encapsulation, you are going to encapsulate the attributes and methods together. That is known as the encapsulation. That means the class, right? The class is nothing but the you know uh, the bundle of attributes and methods, right? Inheritance, right? Child class is going to inherit the property from the parent class. So reusability, inheritance is nothing but reusability. You are going to improve your reusability. Polymorphism, right? Polymorphism means same interface you can use in the different purposes. So if you already know all these things, it's fine. Or just try to understand in this way and go and explore yourself. This is a big topic, however. Class, global class and local class. There are two types of class, global class and local class, right? So let's have the basic understanding of class. Class is of, again, it is having three types of visibility set. One is public, protected, and private. Public one can be used anywhere out of this class, also protected just in the subclasses, and privated only in the same class, right? So that's the different visibility set for this classes, right? Object is nothing but instance of the class, right? Now body is of two types, right? Again we came back. So once I taught the basic principle, I have shown some interface and all. Here we have not written those. So let me show you, tell you something about the interface is like a class only, but here don't have the method implemented. So all the methods in the interface is empty. There is no code written inside the method, just you will be having the definition, import parameter, export parameter, that much only, right? You will be having the attributes over there. You can create the alias, you can create the events. All those are possible in the interface, but other thing is not possible, right? So the important point from, so interface is like class only, but the problem is that in the interface, not the problem, we can tell the uh, speciality. Okay, the speciality of the interface is that in the method of the interface you don't have code written, right? Code written means implementation of the method is not there, right? That's why there is no meaning of creating the instance of the interface. That's why interface is not instantiable. On the other hand, class you can instantiate if it is concrete class, right? Class is again of two types. One is concrete class and another is abstract class. So if it is abstract class, it's not going to be instantiated. On the other hand, if it is a concrete class, you can instantiate. Fine. So that's the basics of and the interface. The important point of the interface, that with the help of interface you can achieve the polymorphism, and that's where the body comes into the picture. So body was this body concept was only possible when the interface was there in the object oriented concept. Otherwise it was not possible. Okay, otherwise it was never ever possible, this body concept. Body is of two types. One is the classical body, another is a new body. Okay, it is implemented at application layer and it is relatively slow, right? Because it is implemented at the application server layer. On the other hand, new body is also known as the kernel body, and it is implemented at the kernel layer. Kernel, what is kernel? Who will tell what is kernel? Just right over here. Who will tell what is kernel? Right here, your thought about the kernel. So it is the hardware part of the operating system, memory. Okay. Anything else? Right? Something right or wrong? No. You were supposed to write right or wrong does not matter. Okay. Involvement is important. Engagement is important. That's where your focus will increase. Otherwise, just you will be giving your time over here and you will nothing get out of here. Out of this 1 hour will be wasted. Right or wrong does not matter. Be involved right over here every time I tell to you, but I don't know why you don't listen to me. You have to write it over here, right or wrong. Okay. Now see here, this kernel is nothing but a software which is like a operating system. So kernel is the operating system of SAP software. That means the Netweaver. Okay, so kernel is nothing but the operating system of the Netweaver. So Jani answer is almost correct, but this is not a hardware. Okay, kernel is not a hardware, but it is very closed to hardware, similar as the operating system, right? Our Windows operating system or our Mac OS operating system or Linux or Linux, whatever operating system we have, those are very closed to the hardware, right? Very close to the hardware. And if something is very close to the hardware, certainly it is going to be fast, right? Certainly it's going to be faster. So our kernel is nothing but it's a operating system, right? It's a operating system for the SAP software, for SAP Netweaver system, right? So what is Netweaver? Netweaver is nothing but the basis, right? The basic infrastructure of whole SAP software, a basic environment where everything on top of that you are going to be to install. right? So that is the point we should understand. And here the question, how to identify the body, this is very important question. Let me write it over here. This is the question, how to find out the body. So certain steps you will have to follow, right? So this is for the classical body, however. Okay, so if you want to find the classical body, what you will have to do, that you'll have to go to the class cl underscore exit handler. Okay, then you go to the method get instance, and under this method you will put the breakpoint on get class name by interface. Okay, and whatever, suppose if you are looking for the mm01 transaction or va01 or va02 me21n, whatever transaction, you go to that transaction, it will keep on stopping you over there. You should have a notepad or here on your system, open a notepad. There you there it will be having the parameter which will give you the name of the body. Just keep on noting down all those body. Go to the transaction called AC18. Okay, and try to see how it has been used, and check out how, if somebody have already created some implementation for this body, so that you can go and check from the environment. Okay, go to the environment from AC18, and from there display implementation will be able to see the implementation and all. So that is how you can find out the body. Second way, these are also sometimes we use AC84 or AC85, but this is very frequently used for the classical body, in fact. So AC84 also you can go, AC85 also you can go, SPRO sometimes for some particular functionality you will get the list of body under the SPRO. So this is what for the how to identify the new body, to check out or display the body definition, to implement the body. So how to identify the new body, right? So this is what we have seen. SC18 and SC19. This is, just remember, fresher, you please remember this one. You must have to remember this. These are the important point. Forget everything if you are not able to remember. Remember this one, SC18 and SC19. So for the body, if you want to see a body definition, and suppose if you want to create your own custom body, you can go and create from SE18 transaction. Okay, and if you want to create implementation of any existing body or your own custom body, you can go and create from AC19. Very important transaction, AC18 and AC19. Remember this one, very very important, AC18 and AC19. Right here in the chat box, AC18 and AC19, all the freshers right here, AC18 for display the body definition and AC19 for implementing the body. So right here in the chat box. Good. Now another question, under body implementation, is it important to activate all the methods of the implementing class, right? Yes. If we don't activate all the methods, it will give the error, right? So this is again an important question. Remember this one. People will ask you, interviewer will ask you, suppose if you have 10 methods in your interface, right? And that interface is a part of body. That means that interface has been implemented in your custom class. So do you suppose to implement all those methods of that interface, right? So implementation means just you will have to double click over there and you will have to activate. This is the important point. Tell me yes or no. Right over here, yes or no. Is it necessary to activate all those implementation? Right here, yes or no. Write fast, guys. It will not take more time to write the yes or no. Please write yes or no. Yeah, Prakash. Yeah, correct. So we must have to, implement all the methods, right? We must have to implement all the methods. So that is very important one over here. Let me write down that this is the VVI one. Okay. So you must have to implement all the method of that interface, right? New body, kernel body, right? How to find the new body or kernel body, right? So what we'll do, put the dynamic breakpoint. Okay, so this is the way how you have identified for the classical body, right? But if you want to find for the new body and kernel body, how we will do, put the dynamic breakpoint on the gate body, right? And it will stop you all the gate body. This is why you are annotating Micromax HS2, right? So see here, please remove this annotation. Get body, right? Over here you can see that get body and call body. This is the get body and call body. This is the syntax what we use for the purpose of calling the kernel body and calling the implementation of the kernel body. So put the dynamic breakpoint on the get body in order to identify the kernel body. Once you identify the kernel body, it is the same way how you are going to implement. However, some extra stuff you are going to look into for the new body or kernel body. So new body, kernel body, both is same, right? Both is same. So you'll have to put the dynamic breakpoint on gate body in order to find out the name of the gate body. Okay, so let me erase this annotation first. Mm, okay, so here put the dynamic breakpoint on gate body and list out all the bodies. How to implement of new body is called in the program call body. Fine, using the call body you can. Means so the call body already it will be there, just you will have to create the implementation through SE19. So implementation and all you are going to see over there under the SE19. So SE18 for the purpose of displaying the body, whether it is a new body or old body. Okay, you will be getting the two options over there, new body and old body. Similarly, SE19 for the purpose of creating the implementation, whether it so you will be getting option for the new body and old body both over there. Hope it's clear. um, okay, see here your body must be of the checkbox at the body level. If you go into SE18 and try to display the body, you will see that one checkbox will be there. It will be selected as a multiple use. So if it is there multiple use, see here, right? You can create the multiple implementation. What is fallback class? Sometimes in the company like Accenture, Deloitte, right? This SAP Labs, they will ask you what is the fallback class. So what will happen that if somebody is not having any implementation created, if you are going to define some certain class, okay, so if nothing of the implementation is going to be called, suppose none of the implementation is active, in that case it will by default call this particular class. So what you understood from fallback class? So fallback class is nothing but a default class. If nothing is there, nothing is active, none of the body is active, none of the implementation is active, then by default this fallback class is going to be called. So this is the meaning of fallback class. So you means fallback means what? Fallback means if something is falling, there is something to back up, right? So if something is falling, there should be something for backup, right? So if something is falling, there's something for backup, and that is nothing but your, the default class. So this is just I've given some name. It can be anything. You can define any of the class. So if none of the implementation is going to be called, and if you want to call some fixed implementation, some default implementation under the fallback class, you can give this option over there. So anyone would like to discuss anything over here? I'm able to hear some noise. Let me mute if you don't have any question. If you have any question, you can unmute yourself and quickly you can start asking the question, because some background noise starts coming and people gets disturbance, right? And now we are on the good track. Today I was a little faster, and actually my intention is to quickly complete this one and go to the oops ABAP and ABAP on HANA, right? Because I got so many query from the people that when we will be starting the oops ABAP and all those things, right? Because most of the people are comfortable in ABAP, but still this ABAP is very important. This is your base. Okay, so please focus on all these interview related questions, and I believe tomorrow module pool will complete. Okay, and then some is smart form, Adobe form. So I will try to complete as soon as possible, and we'll quickly go into the oops abap. So get ready for the oops abap basic concept. You must have to get ready. You otherwise, you will not be able to understand more over there, because I'm not going to teach you the theoretical part. But if you know the basics, you will get lot of benefit from those interview questions and answer, you know for free. That is, this ABAP rituals is going to be free. Okay, every time I will be keep on taking this session on regular basis, at least 15-20 minutes. Once all these things. So my agenda is first to prepare, like make sure that everything is like this ABAP, OOPS ABAP, ABAP on HANA, ALE, IDOCS. I will make you strong in this interview related questions and answer. If your basics are already good, okay. If your basics are not good, you cannot build the building. Okay, and it takes effort. It requires effort. By giving only half an hour and 10 minutes, it is not possible to be the fundamentals of all this awesome technology. Okay, and another request over here, I'm working so hard for you people. One very polite request, please go to my LinkedIn over here, and you give me some feedback. It will be actually beneficial for me. So what kind of benefit I will gain from here, I would like to share with you. I'm always transparent with all people. Like there is no any hidden agenda or something like that. So my benefit, what I will get, actually I will get you know some more corporate visibility. So I will get some more, let me do one thing. I'm going to stop the